Hello, welcome ladies and gentlemen, and all the bots who are tuning in live, and hello to those who are watching the recorded replay on YouTube. It is I, M. Lloyd, the artist. I create boldly, colourful, abstract art that's kind of weird and strange, and yeah, I kind of enjoy it, and hopefully you enjoy watching it. So tonight I'm actually going to be continuing a backpack that I did a week ago. So let's get started. So the backpack that I was working on, we'll go to a different app. There we go. We'll go to Procreate, Sighouse. It's actually this one. So last stream I worked on this artwork, and it looks unfinished here because that's actually where the front pocket will go. So this is kind of where we're up to at the moment. So we worked on the sort of main front panel there of the backpack, and we'll sort of see that on the side there. We're yet to do the sides, the top, the pocket. I'm still kind of figuring out if I want to have like a bit of artwork on these two panels or the actual top part of the pocket, or if maybe I just keep those a block color because I think that would be kind of cool as well. Yeah, sometimes less is more. That's certainly true. But what I do want, because you'll notice that with this sketch, I've got like a certain part of it as this sort of green blocky kind of thing, and then on one side we've actually got this sort of orange, more organic, more alive kind of thing. So I've got this kind of duality thing happening. In regards to the middle, I have no idea what's going on there. I'm even thinking whether or not I actually want it. So I don't know, looking back at this, I kind of like it, I kind of don't. I don't know, I'm like that in many ways. Sometimes I stick with it, sometimes I don't, but I'm fairly certain this is probably how it's going to stay. And so what I'm planning to do now is the sides. So I'm going to do this panel here and that one, but also the underneath. So it's actually all one big panel. So it kind of wraps around the thing like that. So yeah, it's all one big panel. So they just sort of stitch that to the rest of the bag. So this should be a bit of fun. The hard part, because what I really want to do, I want to align this part at the bottom of the front panel. I want that to kind of align with the actual bottom, so it kind of looks a bit seamless. And it won't look perfectly seamless because there's going to be a bit of stitching there. So that's to be expected. But to make it easy for myself, what I did, let's have a look here. It's actually funny. I did actually have a actual file which looked like this. It's kind of what I was going to use to make this thing, but maybe I accidentally deleted it or something. That's a bit concerning. Never mind. We can just make one. That's fine. But yeah, essentially what we've got here is sort of like a template that I've got going, and so what I'm planning to do is try and align this mock image with these sort of dots that I created in a straight line. So I'm going to kind of use these as a reference, and I'm going to try and make it so that the orange bit continues down and the green bit continues down. And I'm a bit annoyed because I do remember actually creating a sort of template for us to use, but maybe just maybe I've actually deleted it for some reason. But no matter, you actually get to see how it's made, which is perhaps half the fun. So what we're going to do, we're going to hop into a different overlay. Let's go to this one. Retro? Nah, let's go to something different. Let's go Lava Lamp. There we go. I haven't seen Lava Lamp for a while. Let's open that up and let's get started. Cool. So this will eventually be sold, hopefully. That's the goal. So eventually I'll actually sell this thing and we'll see how it looks. But before we do that, we're going to go over to this thing. And I want to get the dimensions for my piece. So let's see if I can actually remember the dimensions. I probably won't be able to. But 4281 918. 4281 918. Okay, 4281 and then 918. Okay, let's see if I can remember that. 4281. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Oh, there you go. It looks like I did make it. I must have deleted it, but 4281 918. Okay, we'll go create. Just like that. Very cool. And then let's have a look. Now I've realized that my the actual panel that I add here might be different to the panel that I have for reference. That's a bit annoying. But what I'll do, I'm going to play an ad, and I'm going to see if in that ad break I can actually quickly find the file that I was using, because that'll make things super easy. So yeah, let's have a look at an ad for my desktop wallpapers. And my, actually no, my smartphone wallpapers. Let's look at that. So, can't find it. Never mind. What we'll do, we're going to go to rectangle. We're going to copy this thing, and we're going to actually remake this whole thing. And hopefully it'll all just seamlessly work together. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but you know what? Sometimes art is like that. Sometimes it's just spontaneous and you just got to try and go with it. You know what? I can just copy this layout. I'm not going to select it. I'm just going to copy it. You're going to see some awesome troubleshooting on it. See, this is the thing I wanted. Was it just a matter of me not scrolling down far enough? God, it couldn't have been. There you go. Panic concluded. I'll delete this one. I'm sure I made it. There you go. I'm not just lying to myself. Well, this is an awkward start. It's a bit of a derailed start, but let's get going. So I'm going to duplicate this just in case, because I'm super paranoid that it's sort of hovering in and out of existence. I'm sure that's how Procreate's designed. But yeah, now that was weird. Where was it? It must have just been like, yeah, if I pull this down, the reason I probably couldn't find it, yeah, there you go. It's hidden by the, because it's such a it's such a flat file that it's kind of hidden when you scroll down. So it looks like I've got nothing here, but there is actually one there. That's kind of funny. Okay, so now that we've got this file, and I'm glad we got this, because this particular template file has these dots that I drew, and I'm going to kind of use these to help me guide the drawing from the front of the backpack. So if I go to this thing here, this is my mock-up, and it's telling me that the line art should probably start, it should probably actually just go straight down. So if I can make it kind of go inwards like that. So there's a lot of trial and error with this kind of thing. I'll probably end up making the panel, sticking it on and going, oh, you know what, that doesn't quite look right. I might just have to warp it a little bit. That happens. There's not much you can really do about it. And then this one, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so what I'm thinking of doing here, I'm actually thinking of making it, in fact, what I can do, I'll draw over the top of this. So let's go like that. I'm thinking, we don't want dots. God, here we go. Let's go to Studio Pen. It's a disaster, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go like that. So I'm thinking of doing something like this, right? And what I can even do, I can actually make it a little bit faded. That way I can still see my ruler. And then I'll have this go like that. So I'm sort of just roughly planning the sketch so far. So I'm going to try and maybe make it like that, maybe. That's kind of cool. I like that shape. If I can do that, I'll be super happy. I like it because it gives me a bit of empty space to play around with. Because otherwise, the bottom of this backpack is going to be pretty boring, I think. So let's try these two lines again. Maybe they need to jut more inwards. I don't know. But let's try. It's actually funny, I've never tried this technique with making this ruler thing. So I'm kind of excited to see if it works. I don't see why it wouldn't. But you know what, like these mock-ups aren't 100% perfect either. So I've kind of got to design these, I've got to kind of design this outline so it's okay if it isn't printed perfectly to actually what I'm seeing. So I've got to give it a bit of, for want for a better word, leeway. But let's give this a shot. So I'm just sort of I don't know. Just having a go here. Really, I shouldn't be too pedantic here. I should just sort of go, nah, it's too much in. Let's go like that. And I can actually do smart shapes, see if that helps. I like this particular shape. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe poke it in a bit. Poke it out, I should say. And then I'll kind of go like this. So with this sort of abstract block kind of design, it's kind of, it's hard to really say, but it's okay if it doesn't really fit perspective. Like this part looks like it's a little bit kind of in front of this because, yeah, I'm not really paying too much attention to sort of making it too, I don't know, accurate, if I want for a better word again. But in a way, I kind of like that. It's kind of the style I'm going with. And then this will be like that. So everything I'm doing right now is just a mock-up. And I'll probably use it as a guide actually. So I'll copy this layer and I'll move it to my actual project, and then I'll just trace over the top. And that'll be good, so I can kind of get a guide of where everything is going. But then, yeah, on top of that, I've actually got, I don't know, hopefully it'll kind of all work. So let's try. I like the idea of having maybe, because the thing is there's actually warts here, so I want to try and make it so, do I want to continue the warts? No, you know what, I'll go like this. I'll have it sort of like a sporadic kind of wart. And we'll go like that. Not too many warts, but just enough. And I'll do the last wart like that. Cool. And then I can sort of, on the actual sketch, I can kind of fill this out with other things. Maybe I'll add like a vine that sort of twists and turns throughout the piece. I did that with the top part. I might do that again here. But I'm going to add like a little, sort of like a square hole. Or do I do a triangle hole? Ooh, decisions. So I was going to stream on Wednesday, but I've been super busy and I'm in, I really can't, I just don't have the time to do like 2 streams a week at the moment. So that's certainly the plan. I still want to continue doing 2 streams a week because I actually enjoy the heck out of this. This is a lot of fun. Even when you got 0 viewers, I like just being able, I feel like streaming gives me excuse to sketch without distraction. Because usually when I sketch, I'm just like watching TV or something, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. If that's how you sketch, that's great. You know, you're being super productive. But also, I feel like I tend to miss out a lot on my TV shows because I'm always like sketching. I'm not actually paying attention. So that's certainly a thing too. Okay, let's. I really don't need to do what I'm doing currently. Actually, I don't need to make it that polished. Might be cool actually to make this sort of like a tube, like a little tube. So I'm trying to repeat some of the motifs that I was doing in the previous stream. So once again, none of this is actually going to be in the final sketch. It's just a rough drawing just to give me some scale. Cool, okay, and then what we'll do, hopefully this will look cool. So on the other sides, it's actually going to be pretty much just green. It's just going to be a lot of green, and yeah, hopefully that'll look all right. What we shall do, I've got an idea, just because the thing that I'm sort of concerned about, if I go back, see, making backpacks, it's not as simple as you might think. It's not just like making an image and wrapping it around. Sometimes if you want these like really crazy designs, you're going to really work for it. So my concern is for the side panels. I want to try and get this particular green, or at least something close to it. So if I start off really light and I put that on the edge here, it's not going to look continuous because it's going light to dark green to sort of light to dark green again. No, I need to try and keep that consistency. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge there as well. And same on the other side. So I want to try and start with that sort of more, I think it's more of a standard kind of orange. And then I'm going to push it to a more darker orange when I get to this section here. Now this is going to be entirely obscured by a mesh pocket, but I'm just not really going to pay attention to that. That's fine. What it means really is that I'm just not going to put a lot of detail there because it's not really going to be seen. So I'm just going to have that pretty much orange, just blank, boring orange. Nothing to see here, just a mesh pocket. But here I can actually do something fun. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do, but I could theoretically, because I don't want to just go completely block green, because otherwise this stream will be over in about 10 minutes. I'll just draw that little bit at the bottom and then I'll just color in the rest green and orange. But I'm kind of hoping to have like something like this. Maybe. So because keep in mind, the bottom is going to be kind of like this, right? So then maybe I want to have it like that. That's confusing. So yeah, I want to have something different here. I don't want to just be block green. I want some interest. So I'll have green. Will I have the block kind of go on the other side as well? Probably not. You know what, maybe I'll just poke something from the side, like some sort of shards, that kind of thing, like pyramids. That could be a bit of fun. I like the sound of that. You know what, I'll do that. And maybe I'll add some holes and morph it out a bit, make it a bit more organic. Let's find out. We'll see what we do. So now we're going to go to that mock-up image that I was working on here, just like that. And I'm going to copy this layer. Now the key to get this all, I suppose, in sync is probably a bad description, but it's what I'll use for now. I want to try and figure out what dots these are on. So that's the dot that's closest to this central line. And it's going to slot just in between this smaller dot and these dots. So that's kind of where that goes. Okay, so let's copy this layer. I think I've already done that. We'll do it twice to be sure. And now let's go to our bottom and sides. I'll create a new layer and we're going to paste this. So remember, this is just a mock. This is all it is. So we're going to go like this. We're going to raise it up. And then we're going to try and match this up. So I think that's close, if not perfect. Now I'm going to lower the opacity so I can once again see this ruler that I've made. So I can sort of align this outline, this mock-up of the outline in where I need it. So I'm going to go back to that image. So it's just about sort of consistently going in between the two images. So that goes right up against that dot and is sort of going on an angle like that. Okay. So it's tempting to be like super perfectionist with this, but really you're never going to get it perfect. Because at the end of the day, it's the manufacturer who has complete control over, I suppose, how it actually looks in the end. Because they're the ones who are sort of aligning those bits of fabric. So now let's see if I'm kind of close with these two diagonal lines. We'll go back. So we've got that dot there. So how many dots is that? So that's from the middle line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that sort of intersects 3/4 of the way into the dot. And then the end of this line is actually on the first smaller dot. 2 dots away. Okay, so 3/4 of a dot. Okay, cool. Let's see if I can remember where that goes. So it might already be pretty perfect, if I'm lucky. Yeah, not quite. That's all right. So we're going to grab this. So when it's not perfect, I can just sort of morph this in a little bit. So I'm going to go like that. Cool, and I might even twist it a bit. And that's probably as perfect as I can get this in relation to the previous artwork I was working on. So now it's a matter of simply creating enough bleed and sort of tracing over this outline. So let's do that now. I can't believe I lost the file. That really annoys me. It's so embarrassing. I can't believe it was there all the time. Okay, never mind. I'll get over it. I'll move on. Okay, let's create a new layer. This is what we're going to trace over the top of. It's kind of annoying. I feel like I got the outline, the sort of rough mock layer pretty perfect, to be honest. I should do this one with a little bit more precision. So you'll notice that I'm going all the way to the end there. So that's just to, you know, I probably should go like that. So I'm giving it a bit of bleed, but the truth is you most likely will not see anything in this area here. So that's certainly a truth. If this goes all according to plan, which it may very well not. There we go. It's kind of funny. Every single time I do a stream, I always think to myself, okay, if I got everything ready, if I got the lights switched on just right, if I got the camera positioned perfectly, has my template of the artwork I'm about to be working on ready, and you know what, I've been pretty good. I'm pretty good at sort of getting it all organized before the stream. There's never really been a time until that moment, just a few moments ago, where I was like, oh shit, this isn't working. I've never had that. And yet I have seen other streams of people just sort of playing around with their camera setup in front of like 20 or 30 people. And so I'm kind of proud that I haven't sort of done that. I don't think I ever really want to be one of those people who troubleshoots in front of people. I feel like I don't want to waste people's time. Okay, let's go like that. I mean, it happens. There's always going to be those issues where the camera just stops working for whatever reason, because maybe the software isn't doing what it was expected to do or something like that. But I've sort of taken pride. I've done a good like 22 streams. This is my 22nd stream actually. And I haven't had moments like that until that moment there where I couldn't find my template file. But you know what? At least it was a funny error. So adding those what I call warts into the image now. I'm going to add this in. And so I'm going to make this a little bit more, for a better word, sort of tubular, like that. I want to give myself a little bit more room to draw the hole, because I wasn't really focusing too much on that hole before. There we go, but I think that's pretty good. We'll add some detail lines while we're here. Cool. And then what I'll do, I'll lower the opacity of the template file. I might just do it a little bit with the mock-up file that I drew earlier, which is this one, I think. Nope. This one. There we go. I've got too many layers. And then I'm going to draw these detail lines just like that. So when you're making these artworks, I know you really don't have to get it too perfect here, but you want something just in case, because yeah, they call it bleed area. It's a nice name actually. So it's just it's a nice name if you're a psychopath, I suppose. But it's a nice name because I don't know, people like blood, don't they? Surely they do. But yeah, it just means bleed area is essentially areas of the sketch that probably won't be shown, but you need to have something there, just in case the artwork goes that far into the object. That's probably a fucking terrible description. Oh well. Okay, cool. I had a really busy day at work, so bear with me. The mental acuity is low. I promise you that. But maybe that's the enjoyable part of this stream. Maybe that's what will make it stand out above everything else. This was a stream where Lloyd just went off the rails and just completely lost his mind. So what I'm thinking of doing, because I was mentioning earlier I was concerned about not getting the right colors for the edges. So I want to try and keep the right, I want the colors to closely match what I'm doing on the front of the backpack. So my goal, what I'm thinking of doing is like just copying the original artwork and just having maybe like rotating it, then putting it here so I can kind of have the two colors next to each other. If that works, I'll be amazed. If it doesn't, oh well, I'll just have to sort of trial and error my way to success, and I promise you I'll do that off stream because that would be boring as heck to watch. But yeah, so a part of me is just tempted to kind of do a little bit of what I was doing before with the first sketch, but at the same time, no, I should do something different, shouldn't I? I should add some unique elements here. So far we're just adding these things to give it a bit of just general consistency. There we go. I can hide that composition layer, that mock layer. And yeah, we got the beginning of our sketch. So now this part here, I'm going to create, I'm actually going to bring this back a bit. There we go. So this part here is the side of the backpack. And so what I want to do, I want it to be relatively interesting, but I don't want it to be, I don't know, I don't want it to be completely different so that it doesn't look synonymous with the actual design. So I'm going to add something. So what should I add? This is the hard part. Now keep in mind everything that will be seen. So pretty much the way these templates work, anything inside the green area is what you'll see. The black area is probably what you'll see, and here you probably won't see it, but you want to fill it up anyway. That's your bleed area. So your bleed area, your safe area, and the general size of the actual artwork. But I just do the whole thing. And I tried not to put anything too interesting on the edges, just in case it's not going to be seen. So let's draw something. I was sort of thinking triangles earlier, and I was kind of, I'm now thinking pyramids. And so I'm kind of digging this idea actually. Let's go, I might even go a bit more unusual. I might do this. It's getting very angular indeed. There we go. So I'm about to move into a new place, and I'm at this point where I'm thinking, how am I actually going to have my setup when I'm there? And Should be fine. I'm sure I'll figure it out. My setup's actually pretty simple. Basically, it's just a clamp that's a sort of top-down clamp. Like, I don't know what you'd call it really. A top-down camera arm clamp thing that just points downwards, which is what this thing's doing. And yeah, from there, I have a microphone that sort of sits like just in front of me, and that's sort of connected to a microphone stand that's just sort of sitting to the side but sort of hanging awkwardly over. It works, it does a job, as awkward as it is. But and then on it's actually the hardest thing I can think of is actually the lighting. So I've got this light like way over there that's just full blast, and I switch off all the lights, just have this one kind of light over there. And yeah, I don't know, I kind of like it. The idea was that I wanted my stream to look like this overlay thing was lighting up my hand. I don't know if anyone ever thought that, but hopefully it's true. Hopefully someone will be like, oh, that's a cool effect they're going for, the way the overlay is lighting up their hand. I don't think anyone will. I really don't. But one can dream. One can dream that someone out there can see my artistic endeavors. I take my overlays seriously. But yeah, I'm not sure, because this new place I'm moving into, I can't tell where, I don't think I like that bit I just did then. I might even actually go like this. I do like the idea of doing this thing though, like that. No, maybe not actually. But yeah, like I'm not sure where I'm going to put the light. That's the biggest question I have. I've got to find a place to sort of hang it or connect it, and I'm not sure if there's a place where I'm going to go. So maybe you might see the light coming from the other direction, and yeah, that's going to trip me up. It's going to throw me off, I guarantee. Okay, let's go like this. So I'm putting these lines here. You might not even see these, to be honest. But you know what? I was going to put them there because I wanted sort of a certain level of consistency, really. But the more I do it, the more I think maybe it's too much consistency. And I feel like this part here, which is sort of essential to the sketch, you might not actually see it. So I'm trying to think of what it would look like without this bottom part, and I don't like it. So I'm thinking I'll actually grab freehand there. There we go. Cool. I'm going to move the whole thing up. So let's get rid of the background, and we'll merge all of the outline layers that I've drawn tonight. Cool. That's going to make it a bit easier for me to select this thing, because I think I had that in multiple layers. And so this should work a little bit better, because the main parts of this sort of triangle shape thing are within this green dotted border. So that basically means I can kind of be pretty sure that this part here is in the safe area, as well as all of this, because that's the main interest of this object. So it can be kind of challenging, because you often forget where the lines are, if you're like me. You get lost in the sketch, and then you sort of stop paying attention to where you're actually supposed to be drawing. So it's looking a little bit choppy there. I might just fix that up. But you probably won't see that detail too much, because remember, at the end of the day, these pixels, they're going to be converted into a sort of weird fabric material. So I don't even know what fabric it's using actually. I think it's cotton, but hopefully it's strong. So I'm tempted to have something sort of wrapped around this like I did with the previous artwork. I think that would be kind of cool. And I'm wondering if maybe I should have these a thicker line. Nah, it won't matter. It won't matter. What should I do now? What should I add here? I'm going to add a layer on top. I'm going to see what it looks like with maybe something wrapped around like that. And then I've got to see, I don't want to hide this particular thing because I like that. I like this particular area of the sketch. I don't know why though, but I like it. So I'm going to try and keep that there. And then what I'll do, I'll get rid of this. So we're hiding the elements that are hidden by the object in front of it. We can polish that up later as well. Cool. And then I'm going to go like this. And I'm just sort of doing that for reference at the moment. But I'll probably have this thing sort of hang down a little bit. In fact, you know what I could do? I'm going to undo a bit of this. Because I keep forgetting, the artwork isn't going to be like this. It's actually going to be on the side. So you're going to see this poking on the side of the bag towards the front. So what I could do, I could sort of pretend that this vine thing is in adherence to the gravity. And it's sort of like that. And that would look a bit better from this angle because it's sort of hanging. It's got a bit more hang to it. Now let's perfect this line a little bit. That's good enough. Okay, let's clean this up a bit. Just rounding that off. Still looking a bit choppy, but whatever, I can always clean that up off stream. Let's just quickly clean this up as well. So I'm sort of sharpening a lot of these sort of rough edges just with the eraser. Cool. I feel like this could be pushed out just a little bit. Let's go like that. Let's see if it looks any good. Yeah, it's not bad. Looks a bit more consistent. We'll get rid of this line here that pokes in. Cool. Now I want to have this, I want this to be connected to something. I want it to look organic. I want it to be kind of interesting. Do I want it to sort of sprout into something maybe? Okay, now I'm just going wild. Let's add a layer here. And we shall, I'm getting a bit of bulbousness. Nah, we won't do that. Just sort of thinking of some shapes here. Just throwing out some ideas. What if I skewer it like that? Nah, it's too many block shapes. I need something a little bit different. What if I just extend that out a bit? I'm looking forward to doing my Doodle Blob sketches again. They were a lot of fun. I used to do those every Friday night. So like, this is probably the first Friday stream I've done where I haven't done a Doodle Blob. But yeah, I sort of haven't continued that sketch ever since I sort of became quite busy in my real life. I sort of put that on hold. I want to return to it once I'm sort of back in the full scope of things and I'm ready to sort of do a bit more hours in streaming. But yeah, I'm really pulling back a bit at the moment, because since the COVID-19 lockdowns ended in Victoria, basically, yeah, where I work became just stupidly busy, and so I had to kind of work a lot harder than what I was used to. Also, I'm moving out, so I've got to looking at a new place, which is kind of exciting, and I have to buy all this gear. I found a fridge, I found a mattress as well. My God, I had no idea that buying a mattress was going to be such a difficult thing. But in the end, I went to a place. I didn't do the whole online bed in a box thing, although I did do a bed in the box. I did do that. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was charmed by the sales guy. He was pretty good at his job. Really knew his shit about mattresses. I'll say that. It made me realize that it must be a super competitive industry if they're really like training their salespeople that well. But yeah, like he even ended like the sale with like a cheesy catchphrase of the business. It's like, "Thanks for shopping at yada yada. I hope you get a good night's sleep," or something. And I remember thinking, oh God, he's totally paid to say that. He has to say that. That's the branding. The poor dude. But at the same time, I was impressed by his diligence in doing it. I think, you know, you can tell a lot about someone's professionalism when they do the really lame stuff without breaking a sweat, in full acknowledgement that it's lame and they got to do it though because it's their job. I admire that. There you go. So I'm just adding a few details. I'm not finished adding things to this weird vine. Not at all. I do like the idea of it evolving into something, but I'm just not sure what yet at the moment. Maybe I'll add a leaf. That sounds like a bit of fun. Turn it into something a bit more green. Even though the background's going to be a strict green, might be cool to maybe make it something more orange or red to sort of contrast the green nicely. That'll be kind of fun. I'll add this in a different layer just in case I completely balls things up. Because that's why we use layers, for non-destructive editing. And I'll go like that. And how does that look? I kind of like that actually. What I might do, I'll add a leaf here as well, just for consistency. When you add sort of similar elements across the vine, like, I mean, if it weren't obvious already that this is also that, adding these leaves will make it even more obvious. Well, that's the plan. That's my excuse. Let's go like that. Now it's time to do the brave thing and delete some of the stuff here that is obscuring. Yep, there we go. So now I've got to figure out how these particular texture lines are actually going to work. Do I just delete them until they look good? Like that? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's all I need to do. Yeah, if I extend this little stalk of the leaf down a bit. Or is it a stalk or a stem? Probably a stem. I need to get rid of this. What layer is that on? Yeah, okay, here we go. I know where I am now. I'm gonna have to merge some of these layers, I think, because I'm getting a bit confused. Go like that. Maybe a thicker line so that actually is seeable on the fabric. So there's a lot of you've got to think about when you're doing this kind of stuff. You've got to think about, oh, I'll do that again, yep. You've got to think about how this whole thing is actually going to look on the fabric, whether or not it's all in vision. There's so much to pay attention to, but I reckon we'll get there. So that's a good bit of detail actually. I'm wondering if I should just leave that there, but I do have 15 minutes. So there's a truth that I'll probably, I'm sort of wondering if I should do anything on this end, because this is going to be orange, right? But I'm wondering if maybe I sort of add some kind of, well, what we should do first. Let's start merging some of these layers. So I'll get, that one's already visible, we'll get that. Awesome, okay. And we'll just make sure, yep, good, perfect. Awesome. So I'm sort of second guessing myself here. So on this other side, the mesh pocket layer, that will look, that's what's happening over here. So yeah, so for some context of what we just drew, basically we drew, go lower, this thing, and then we had a bunch of things that go like this. And so that's kind of what's going to be on this side. And then on this side, like I can't have too much detail because that just won't be seen through the mesh pocket. But what if I do something like this? So I have like just a really simple, ooh, it's not letting me. There we go, I'm behind that layer, cool. What if I have something simple? If I just go maybe like this, just to add a bit more interest to the color. Now if I'm going to have that, then I need it to sort of link with the bottom. So what that means is that, so I'll grab this. That's currently sort of what it's like at the bottom. And if I'm going to have that line, if I'm going to have something very simple there, maybe what I do, maybe I should have slime or something, like a very basic slime. Like I'm thinking a big thick line so it's visible, but like that. And that would be kind of fun actually, because I can kind of add a bit of color variance to this part, and that might actually be seen through the mesh. So that would look something like, let's just copy this. Copy. So we're just mocking it up, getting an idea of how things work. And I'll rotate that around. So I think I'm sort of inevitably making a kind of sort of a template here actually. But yeah, what I'm thinking, if I go like this, like that, something like that. I think that'll be pretty interesting. It probably won't go that far up because this goes like that, and then this will kind of be like that. And maybe I can add a little blotch or something there. I think that's kind of cool. That's a good idea. And so this is actually going to be a big, bright, vibrant blue, I think, similar to this. And so then we've got orange and blue, they're complementary colors. I'm thinking of something sort of reddish, pinkish over here to complement the green. And I think this is actually going to look really neat. It's got just enough detail to make it interesting. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this because I kind of like what I'm thinking there. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go back to my drawing, which is over here. I'm going to paste this. And I'm probably not going to have the line as thick as it was in my mock. So that's probably, yeah, that was kind of how it was. We're not going to do that. We're going to have it a little bit thinner. So we're going to drop the opacity a bit. We're going to bring it sort of near our mock layer. What I might do here, I might even rename these so I don't get them confused. Mock 1, rename mock 2. Okay. Good outline. Complimenting myself. There we go. Wow, I really drifted then, didn't I? I was right down here. Okay, let's bring that back up. I wonder why I started sketching down there. I wonder how long I was sketching down there. God, I'm really losing my mind here. Let's have a look. I'll bring it back down a bit. There we go. Not too far down. Must have been when I was like tossing it around and like just twisting and turning. But hopefully you saw some of that. I hope it wasn't all completely hidden from you. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm settled with. I'm going to do some slime. I'm trying to get like a good line that's consistent with everything else now, just like that. And we're going to sort of curve this in like that. Curve it in? Who knows? Okay, so I sort of did something completely different there. Do I prefer it? It's not bad. If I get rid of the background one, I'll know for sure. No, you know what? I don't like it. I'm going to try that again. I really like the shape of what I did, so I'm going to try and do that as best I can. Okay. Sort of went a little bit off there because I was running out of... I feel like I was running out of space. But I'll fix that up later. I'm actually wondering if I should push this out a little bit. Yeah, this makes a bit more sense because otherwise it's going to hit that corner a little bit too hard. And it sounds like I'm talking about racing. It sounds like it's going to hit that corner, and therefore it won't really be too easily seen. Let's draw that little blob there. I'll move it a little bit this way. And it probably actually doesn't matter now that I think about it if it's sitting on that corner, because it's actually just going to fold this part of the fabric. So you will kind of, yeah, it's not going to be a crease. That's not what, so it's not going to have like a fold that sort of ruins the image. It's actually just going to be a clean sort of wraparound. So it shouldn't be too bad actually, now that I think of it. But what we'll do, I'll add some lines just to make it a bit more interesting, but I'll do it on this end because there's not much point in doing it over here. So remember, I'm trying to keep this part of the sketch just super simple. Not too much stuff over here because there's going to be a mesh over the top. What I should do, if I was clever, I could just go like this. So I know exactly. It's such a ridiculous way of doing it. But yeah, it's kind of what it's going to look like. But this part here, this is going to look kind of cool. So we're going to make sure we give it a bit of detail where it counts. I'll go like that. I should do that on the actual right parts of the layer. You know what? I'll get rid of that. That's a bit annoying. Go over here like that. Awesome. Is that all looking relatively good? I think so. I think we're getting very close to coloring this in now. And I might get rid of this bottom line because that's a little bit silly. Get rid of that. Cool. think I'm liking this now. I'm sort of undecided whether or not I should put too much detail here. I suppose the worst case scenario is that you just won't see it. But you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put these lines here. You're probably not going to see any of those because the mesh is going to be so vibrant, but it doesn't really matter. I'll get rid of this stupid layer I made a few seconds ago. Cool. And is that sort of a consistent line? It's not bad. It'll do the job. Cool. Now it's just a matter of coloring the thing in. So what we're going to do for this, I'm going to actually import the previous sketch I was working on. So if I go to my gallery, I'll go to this one because this one here is just it's actually just a merged. It's basically just a picture where I merged all the layers together. And that was so I could kind of see how it all worked in relation to the backpack. So now that I've got this one, I'm going to, let's go over here. I'm going to paste this like that, and I'm going to make it relatively large. So I'm trying to match it with the bottom lines in a sense. There's some weird geometry that you end up doing with this. So I know that doesn't quite match. That's okay, I think. There's a truth that I can kind of, one of the reasons they ask for so much bleed area is so that you can kind of push things and manipulate things when it actually comes to creating the mock-ups. So I'm going to rotate this one about 90 degrees. And then I'm going to use this to get my color. But actually, you know what? This isn't going to work, and I know why. Because first of all, I don't actually know where the end is. So what we'll do, I'll go back to this other image here. Here we go. And here we can actually see exactly what color, or what part of this backpack is going to be basically seen. So that would most likely be, I would say, around here. This is going to be quite the challenge, I think. If I go, you know what I'm going to do? It's a bit strange, but I'm going to mute these layers. I'm going to merge these together. I'm going to copy this one, and then I'm actually going to paste it into this artwork. And so that way, the whole reason I'm doing this is just so I can I can try and get the color of the sides to be as seamless and as consistent as what's going to be in the actual front panel here. And this image is here just so I can actually get the right colors. So when I'm painting, I can just use color drop to get the color I think it is. So looking at this corner, I'll try and go for just a general tone. So it's that one. I reckon if I go like this, that's going to be as good as I can get to the green. So let's move this one over here. Just move it out of the way for now. And so it's time to make our background color. So I'm going to go, I might delete this mock-up. I'm going to add another layer over here. And there we go. I'm just going to start with that base color. I might even try making it darker just to give it a bit more, I don't know, a bit more interest, maybe. A bit more depth, maybe. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. I might even push it towards the blue a bit. Or not. Okay. Let's go like that. Now I'm going to hide this layer. And so what's going to happen here is that this color is kind of going to, I might go here, good outline, I'll make that the reference layer. I'm going to go like this. Okay, cool. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to go over here. So still just getting the background colors as good as we possibly can. I realized I just pasted that into the wrong area. Let's go like that. Cool. And then we shall, hopefully, yeah. Okay, cool. So now it's just about smudging. So now we'll smudge this in as best we can. Cool. And what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to grab this template layer, and I'm actually going to change that to multiply, which is at the top. Here we go. Cool. So that allows me to see, once again, what colors are kind of lining up with what's in the safe area and what isn't. That's cool. So I don't want to smudge the template layer like that. I want to actually smudge the colors, and I'll make it maybe a slightly larger brush. Cool. Awesome. I'm quite happy with that background now. I think that's looking pretty good. I might just push out the green just a little bit. I'll make that alpha lock. So I'm pushing in the lighter green to just a little bit more in there. Okay, cool. Now it's time to do the orange section. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to bring this color in. So judging by this mock-up, the color that is most likely going to be visible, I'm going to hide this multiply layer. There we go. It's going to be this sort of central orange color here in the gradient. So I'm going to select that one. I need a drink. Let's do that. And then once again, I'm going to move these to the side just like that. And I'm going to just push this over to the side a bit as well. So I don't quite need the whole thing there. In fact, I'm kind of finished with this image, so I'll get rid of that. God, what a mess. It's such a hard thing to do, making a backpack where all the parts kind of seamlessly blend together. And I've got to kind of remember that at the end of the day, this isn't going to look completely perfect, but it's going to look good enough. So I'm going to go to this background, switch off alpha lock. I'm going to drag that in like that. And I'm actually going to grab this orange color here because that isn't seen as much throughout the front panel. And I'm going to switch back on alpha lock. And I'm going to just sort of color it in loosely like that. And so here, I'm going to blend that in, and this should look pretty seamless with what's on the front. Hopefully it does. We'll find out. I might even push that in a bit. And the reason I'm doing that is because at one point this corner is here. So that's where it gets really a bit mind-bendy. But I think if I switch on that, I think that's going to work. I think. It's pretty hard to do this. Like, it's hard to sort of figure out where all these colors kind of lie. But now what I'm going to do, now I could do a purple, but I'm going to do blue. I'm going to stick with my guns here. I'm going to go blue, nice, vibrant, deep, rich, dark kind of blue. Like that. I'm going to add another layer here, and just still using my reference, just like that. And I'm going to get a darker blue. That's what I'm going to use to add some of the sort of texture or the depth. I should actually switch on alpha lock again. Let's do that. Alpha lock. There we go. Okay, I'm actually making way better time than I thought I was. I was actually expecting the coloring in part to take absolutely ages, but for some reason I've sort of blasted through it. I think I'm just super excited to sort of see it to its conclusion. But I'll probably go to an intermission soon because I'm running out of water, and I think my pencil's probably going to run out of charge soon. So you know what, I'm going to do that now. Have some discipline, going to pull back, going to switch to that intermission, and I shall see you shortly. Cool. This will probably be about 5 to 10 minutes. Let's play some music. So all the intermission music is made by myself, M. Lloyd, and yeah, I made it using this cool app called God, I've already forgotten the name of it. What is it? It's by Arturia Pigments. It's really fun. So you can kind of blends a sampling with synthesis in a really cool way. I should do like a music stream one day. That would be a bit of fun. And yeah, everything on the intermission. Yeah, I do sell a lot of products, and I actually have some really cool things I'm trying to promote, like Skillshare. So you'll see a link there, and yeah, everything I do on Skillshare, if you actually click and follow that link, I get $10, and basically you don't have to pay a cent because it's a free month subscription. So feel free to consider that. I'll be back shortly. I'll refill my drink, so get a new drink, and I'll charge my pencil, and I shall see you very shortly. See you soon. Better switch on the mic there, eh? I'm back. Let's do it. Okay, cool. So we're working on a backpack, and we're doing the sides and the bottom. Awesome. This is our progress. Where was I? I was blurring in these blue bits. So let's do that now. Let's simply blur that. Oop. Oop, I better screw that in. There we go. So now, because that's in alpha lock, it should all just stay nicely in the boundaries, which is cool. Yeah, we'll just try and get this nice and smooth. So not adding too much complication to this side of the backpack, and that's probably a good thing actually, because it's not going to be seen. Remember that, it's all going to be hidden by a mesh pocket. Now I'm thinking if I get time, maybe I'll show you this on stream. So I'll sort of go to another intermission just to sort of show you what this actually looks like on the backpack, because I think that's going to be kind of fun. But what we'll do first, we'll color in the rest of our sketch. We've got to do this bit as well. I totally forgot about that. Okay, let's grab this color, and then what we will do, we'll hide this again, and we'll color in these sides just like that. Once again, going for that consistency with the front part of the sketch. So let's go into our color. There we go. We'll get this darker version of the color now. Hide it again. And then we'll blur them both together. It's not too difficult to do this particular part of the sketch. So that should work pretty simply. We'll just switch that in alpha lock, and we'll just blur that all together. There we go. Cool. I might even switch off the layer there, because I think that's going to make it a bit distracting otherwise. Let's get this color, and I'll pop that into a separate layer, just like that. I'm feeling that's a darker orange for some reason. I'm not sure why. But I'm going to put that, nope. I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to blur that in like that. Might even add a bit of color just at the top here. That'll do for now. Let's add some more color for these warts, and we'll add a bit of depth to them, just using a darker color. I might even do that here as well. Oop, we'll smudge that in. Good, just with a smaller sort of brush there. Nothing too large, and I'll lose control out of. There's actually a cool feature that I've been meaning to try out, and it's called where is it? Maybe you need another update to do it, but it's a rather cool feature. Oh no, there it is. Dynamic brush scaling. So when you switch this off, what happens? So if I draw like something like that, and then I zoom in, notice how the brush sort of follows what I'm zooming. So I'm going to try around, I'm going to play around with that, see if it actually is any fun. Totally forgot to try that out. It was something I was kind of keen to have a look at. What I might do, I'm going to add a darker sort of red color, and I'm going to put that in the background. Just like that, just a little hint of shadow. Very cool. We'll keep doing that. And then I'll blur that in as well, but not too much. I don't want to lose the color. Just want that subtle darkness in tone. Sort of nice subtle shadow. There we go. And you probably won't even see it. That's the sad part. You probably won't even see this sketch because it's going to be hidden by that mesh. But oh well, you never know. Maybe it'll look cool. Maybe. Okay, cool. So the other part of this sketch, we're going to add another layer here. It's actually the background. So we're going to grab this central color here. I'm going to hide that again. We're going to go to this layer we just created. We're just going to go like that. Cool. Then we're going to go back to the I'm going to call it like a reference artwork. I could have just used a reference. I could have actually made this a reference, sort of in a window kind of thing, the proper way of doing reference. But I don't know, I can't be bothered. Too lazy. Let's go like this. Very cool. And we'll blur those in. I'll remember for next time. Cool. Okay. It's not looking too bad actually. I'm kind of liking this. Hopefully it looks really nice when it's all sort of put together. Now the only other color I really have to do is this. And so I'm not quite decided on what I'm doing with this one. I think I'll go for something sort of pinkish like that. Maybe a little bit more red. And what I'll do, I'll just color drop it in. Yeah, you know what? I'm already liking that color. I think that was a good choice. Let's go a nice darker color for the sort of this edge section, like that. And I'll add some depth to it later. Might even make this slightly darker again. So I'm going to go like down, push it maybe towards a purple, like that. And I'll grab this color again, and then I'll move it over here. Cool. Oh, I went a bit outside the edges there. Let's fix that up. What I'm going to do with this, I'm not quite sure. I need to pick a, well, I'll create another layer. I'm thinking like a sort of lavender kind of purple, but maybe maybe a little bit more saturated, a little bit darker. Oh, there we go. So I'm sort of leaning towards this sort of purpley color here. I could do blue again. I could do blue. Maybe I'll make it purple and blue. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll sort of blend a bit of blue into it, and we'll see how it looks. I might even add a bit of darker green just behind all of this, just to create that sort of shadowy kind of effect. Kind of like what we did earlier. So let's go to a bluey color. I don't want to go too blue, but just enough. And then I'll go alpha lock. Yeah, that kind of looks alright. I like that. So we'll just put it on the top part of this sort of vine. Cool. Very cool. Not being too exact about it, just trying to get it done. Because why not? I'll make that alpha lock. Oh no, it already is alpha lock. There we go. cool. Awesome. Let's blend this in. I realize there's a bit of green here which is annoying me, so I'll quickly quickly fill that in, I should say. Very cool. And there's definitely a truth that I'll probably touch a lot of these drawings up before I release the product, because I wouldn't feel comfortable not like releasing a product and not giving it like a once over, just sort of double checking that everything's kind of working. But nonetheless, it's good to do. So I'm going to go to this layer here, sort of adding a kind of shadow, I suppose. Yeah. Let's see how this looks. So I'm going to blur it so it kind of looks a bit more, I don't know, real. Real? I don't know if that's the right word. I don't think anything I'm drawing here is ever going to look real. But we'll try and make it not so rough. Not like it's done in MS Paint. That's the goal. The goal is to make it look like it's not in MS Paint. Here we go. Just quickly double checking there. Just sort of pushing it into place. But once again, not thinking too much about it. Okay. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get like a lighter color and maybe a little bit on the pink side. And I'm going to kind of add a layer on top. I'm going to make this a clipping mask actually, because why the heck not? I want it to be non-destructive, but yeah, not too much either. There we go. Just adding a bit more tone to this image. I'm going to grab this color. I'm going to pick a slightly darker variant. Once again, pushing it a little bit towards purple. And I'm going to add this in like that. And then I'm going to blend that in as well. And then I think we're kind of almost done. Then what I'll plan to do, I plan to go to another intermission because I'm going to try this out on the backpack. I'm really keen to kind of show that at the end. But before I do that, I'll quickly grab this, go to a darker color again. I'll have to edit out the second intermission though, because I don't want to have too many intermissions during my videos. All of which you can find on YouTube. So if you follow me on Lloyd Artist, you'll actually be able to see me there. I just realized there's actually something I'm missing in my outline. I felt like it was looking a little bit basic here. But yeah, what I need is some dots. And so if I go to this image, I can get an idea of just how big those dots are. So, okay, I'm going to try and remember that. Let's go like this. I might make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, that looks better. I knew it was missing something, I just couldn't quite figure out what it was. But these dots should make it look just a little bit more detailed, and more importantly, just a little bit more synonymous with the rest of the sketch. Although I must say, I feel like I've got a little bit too much variance on these dots. I'll pull it down a bit. I'll get rid of these ones. Oop. Too much. actually a little bit too consistent, these dots actually. I might get rid of just a few. Like that. Or fill in the more empty areas like that. I feel like those dots kind of change size a little bit, but what the heck? That's fine. Probably no one will care. Cool. So that's kind of it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to duplicate this entire thing. So I'm going to go duplicate, and then I'm going to go to my mockup generator, and I'm going to copy this into that. So this might take a few moments, so please bear with me. And yeah, once again, I'll cut to another intermission, and we'll see how it looks. So hang tight, peeps, and get ready for a cool reveal. It's like a product reveal. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Let's see how it looks. So I'll be about 5 minutes, I think, probably less than that. So let's see how long it takes. I'll time myself. You know, it's actually funny. I just realized that I had everything on mute. That's amazing. What I was saying as I was flicking through some of these images is I'm actually really proud of how it all sort of turned out. I love the way the colors are actually blending super seamlessly. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be too much difference between that green there, for example. This is going to be a bit of a challenge when I suppose, get that happening, but that's kind of cool. I can't believe I spent like a whole minute there just on mute. Man, I was like doing a really good like monologue there, whatever. But yeah, the bottom here looks really nice. So I'm proud of how the background there is kind of seamlessly blended together. And looking at the other side panel here, I feel like, quite frankly, I'm actually really proud of that, because that is just simple enough that it sort of pops through that mesh background, but not too complicated that you can't quite see the artwork. So I think that was a good choice. I hope this color blends nicely with that. It's probably going to be hard to see anyway with that mesh, but who knows. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of how this backpack is looking. It's looking really cool. I can't believe I just spent like a whole like fucking 5 minutes. I was gonna say, and then thought maybe it was just some sort of bot. Nice to see you, caramel_honey. Yeah, what can I say? I'm a noob streamer. Can't believe, God, I'm so embarrassed. How silly of me. But yeah, nice to see you. I hope you yeah, enjoy my artwork. I was sort of just finishing off the stream actually. So basically, if you don't know, if you've never seen the channel before, I make really vibrant, colorful artworks. So for the last 2 streams, I've been working on this backpack. So in the first stream, I was kind of working on the front panel, which is this one. And in this stream, I was actually working on this bottom part. And it took a lot of work. I really had to try and get everything kind of aligned with this template file here, which was more difficult than you think, because you sort of have to align all the lines with this sort of weird half-ass ruler I made. So I'm actually really proud of how it all kind of came together. But yeah, there's a ton of layers there, and yeah, I'm quite proud of it. But yeah, what do you do? Are you an artist as well? I feel like everyone who watches my stream is also an artist. It's kind of strange. It's just something I've noticed. People who tend to watch this tend to do art themselves, and I don't know. Maybe they're looking for tips. Maybe they're looking for, I don't know, just some chill content. I have no idea. But yeah, it's good to see someone new in the chat. Very true. Very cool. Yeah, if you want to see more of this, consider following, because I'm planning to do a little bit more of this for sure. So I'm certainly thinking of doing like the top parts. that's actually going to be two separate panels. So that's actually going to take a bit of work, I think. So it's going to be hard to kind of align everything together, but that's certainly a thing. But yeah, if you want to see more, yeah, consider following. And I think you already have. That's cool. Thank you for following. That's very kind of you. I'm trying to get to that affiliate number so I can have like cool badges and stuff. But because I'm such a noob at Twitch and streaming, like I'll have to figure out how to actually do badges first. That looks really good. Thank you. I'm very flattered. Thank you. You're an amateur? I'm sure you're not. I draw out of passion. Someone who has recommended me to do NFTs. Yeah, NFTs. Like, I'm kind of curious about that myself, actually. Because, yeah, like you hear all these amazing stories of like people making like billions of dollars or whatever from like, I don't think it's billions, it's probably millions actually, but off like a single NFT. And I'm tempted to do it myself because Procreate has these really cool like animation features. So it's actually not too hard to just create an animation. So for example, what have I got here? Okay, so yeah, if I go to Animation Assist, I can switch this on and you can sort of add frames and you can create these really nice animations quite easily. And maybe I'll do one on a future stream. I'm not sure. At the moment, I'm sort of just doing one stream a night because my schedule is really hectic, but I'm planning to sort of broaden that out a bit. Yeah, if you have like an Instagram, because you're actually welcome to follow me. I'm at mlloydartist, and so I always like to check out the art from my followers because I often find that they tend to undersell themselves a little bit. So yeah, feel free to follow me there. You should find a link, I think, in the About section of the video, so that would be pretty cool. I'm really embarrassed that I was just like talking to myself nonstop with the mic switched off. That's so embarrassing. I'll get over it, hopefully. But yeah, essentially that's kind of my stream really. I was going to kind of end it there, but you really should look into it. I guarantee that Backpack would sell. This is the way art and life is general is going, all digital. Yeah, it's kind of funny, isn't it? I feel like digital art has really had a boom in the last couple of years. I wonder if it is because of iPads, because I feel like they sort of brought digital art to sort of a more human kind of interface. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a bit pretentious there. Who knows? But yeah, one thing I was going to show before I realized my mic was switched off is you can actually check out all my products on my website. So my website is mlloydartist.com. It actually gives you links to everything I do. So if I go to, let's see if I can actually make this work for me. I'm really boomering it up at the moment. I'm not really fully awake, I'll be honest. It's not the best first impression caramel honey, but thanks for joining nonetheless. But yeah, on my website you can see everything I do live. So my streams actually get recorded to YouTube, so this is going to be an interesting recording. Also, I've got browse products. So here I've actually got all the products I've made. Some of them on stream, most of them not actually. So I've sort of started doing these a couple of years back. But I've got digital wallpapers that you can purchase, and they're a bit of fun. So I do. One style you'll see very commonly is this thing that I call stained glass artwork. So it's sort of inspired by those stained glass windows that you see in churches and stuff. So it was designed to be really poppy and really colourful and vibrant. The phone cases have been pretty popular, although someone said that I should add some more options, so I might do a few more of those. But this is the previous backpack I made, which I'm quite proud of. It's made of a really nice waterproof and really strong material. And so I think they're made in China, whereas the backpack that I'm making at the moment, that's actually made in USA. So pretty cool. There's also tote bags you can look at. The watch straps, they're still there, so they're pretty funky and colourful. They work with Apple Watch, so they're compatible with both sizes, small and large. I've got some pouches. I've got makeup pouches and sort of your standard sort of pencil case kind of designs. I tried to do like one masculine and one feminine, but who knows if that really worked out. Or who knows if there even is such a thing nowadays. And I've got this saddle, sort of like I call it a saddle. It's basically like a sort of handbag thing. and they all use that stained glass style. This is my first product, known as the Excursionist. That's like a big travel bag. Haven't sold many of those lately with COVID, I must say, but that's definitely a thing. And then I've got this thing called the Livestream collection. So this is where I plan to put the backpack. So essentially, yeah, when I click this, it shows me all the products that I've made on stream. So I've got like a t-shirt, I've got like a duffel bag here, an iPhone case, and soon there'll be a backpack. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, feel free to check it out if you're interested. But yeah, I do like making products, and I love the idea of people having them in trains, you know, like trying to sort of take art out of musicians, taking art out of museums and putting it into the real world. That's a cool concept to me. So you can find all of that on Amyloid Artist. Thank you for joining Caramel Honey. It was a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, if you got Instagram, feel free to follow me there, because then we can actually. Oh, I'm curious to see what artwork you do. I really am. Do you stream on Twitch? If so, yeah, I'll check you out. I'll sort of click your name and I'll find out what type of art you do. Super curious. But yeah, that's it for me. I've got to get a good night's sleep actually, because I've got a busy day tomorrow at work. But thank you to all those who watched, and thank you to all those who are watching the recorded replay on YouTube. And you can actually find everything I do on amyloidartist.com, and you can even follow me on @amyloidartist. I have a Patreon /amyloidartist, so you can check that out as well. But that's me. I'll probably raid some other cool Twitch streamer artist person. So let's find someone cool. But for now, that's me. Adios. Ciao.